let's talk about Burial. So, Burial stars Charlotte Vega as Brana Vasilyeva and is directed by Ben Parker. Now, you're gonna ask, what is the plot of this movie? So, what it's really talking about is an elderly woman recalls being the only known survivor of a top secret mission during the Second World War and is tasked with the mission of delivering the body of Adolf Hitler over to Stalin in Moscow. Now, she regales an intruder who wants to find proof of his survival and where he's currently stationed. So she tells him of the story and what really happened while they were on that mission, and how everything he claims to really know is a lie. Now, I have my opinions on this movie, right? I just finished watching it. There are a couple of things that I did like, of course, right? The plot, I think it is absolutely well thought out. I love the way that this is narrated in the very beginning, and I love how this actually builds up, where it's just a one-on-one interaction between the intruder and the elderly lady, or Brana in her elder state. You see Brana in her elder state, and you see Brana in her younger state as well. But Brana in her elder state is the one who still remembers, some of her training, and this gentleman walks into her house because he's looking to break in, because he knows that she was one of the people that were tasked with removing this body and bringing it over to Stalin. Now, she actually gets the jump on him by tasing him, and then ties him over to what I believe was the furnace, and then regales him of this story. I love that. I love the fact that she was still able to utilize some of her training to get the jump on these individuals, and I love the fact that she knew that there was something off in how her dog had interacted when he went outside to relieve himself. She got the jump on this guy, and then the story starts, where, because he has a tattoo on his arm and she recognizes the tattoo and goes about telling him all of how everything unfolded from the very beginning, to all the troubles that they had interacted with, her and her group, to how everything ended and what really transpired with the body. I love the way that this ended as well. And in the middle is where you actually have the movie. The movie is about the mission. It's showing how her and her team had gone about delivering over this body, and if they were able to successfully even do it. It shows you about how they interacted in Germany, and all of the troubles and all the heartaches that they went through, and all of the problems that they even dealt with as a group. This group is not stable. This group is really not stable. This is a group of soldiers and army men that are at each other's necks at times, and they're at each other's faces. They're trying to even commit sexual acts on one another, involuntarily, of course, right? You can piece together what it is I'm trying to say, but this group is really not a group of friends. This is just a group of people that are together just to deliver this body because they were the closest in proximity, especially her. I love her character, and I love how difficult they make things for her, and I love that you get an idea of how much pressure there is, especially from the other side, because the war is over at the time. However, some become aware that they have this possession on them at the time, and they want to do whatever they can to get their hands on that. A couple of things about that. Now, the introduction is by far one of my favorite parts. I would say, if I had to rank it, it's probably my second favorite, and I'll tell you why in a second. The introduction to how this actually started, I love, because like I said, she utilizes her training to get the jump on an intruder. Very cool, and then regales them of the story. Not a problem there. My third favorite, and I'm not going in order, my third favorite part is the ending. How this movie ended, I think, was absolute brilliance, because it ended with some mystery. There is a piece of a possession that she shows the intruder, and I believe what she gave him was cyanide. I think what she gave him was cyanide to take him out. But she shows him some secret of why he had come in the first place, and they never show it to us. But it pulled me right back into the movie, because I kind of found myself fading out. But that little interaction between him and her, and me not knowing what it was, really pulled me back into the movie, because I kept on asking myself, well, what's in the box? I want to know what's in the box. And they even did a little pan into the camera where they displayed her as she was calling the police to probably report the intruder. And while she's on the phone, they're getting closer and closer to the box, and I was just hoping that something would nudge the box and make it fall over so I could see what's inside, because I'm curious as to what's inside as well. Now, that is my third favorite part. That is my third favorite. My absolute favorite thing that I love about this has nothing to do with Brana herself. It actually has something to do with the German group that had retrieved the body, or had stolen back the body, and was preparing to do something with it. I'm not going to tell you exactly what they were preparing to do, but I will give you a bit of a rundown. The reason why this is my favorite is because it showed me how a conspiracy can start. The guy that was the intruder in the beginning of this movie was following a conspiracy to its logical conclusion, and he derived from all of the information that he had built together, from the necklace that he had and all of the other clues that he had gotten, that the person that he admires, Adolf, is still alive. She has other information that she regales to him. However, though, in that church, when they capture the body of the Führer, as they refer to him as, right? When they capture his body, they prepare themselves to do something to it, and they say something. They say something because they want the legacy, and they want the idea, and they want all of what he stood for to continue on now and forever. And they ask him, well, how are we going to do something like that given the fact that he's dead, and we see that he's dead, and if everyone knows that he's dead, his ideas are going to die? And so he says something. Listen to what he says. He says, spectacle is what the people crave. You give them that, and they will believe whatever you tell them. By far my favorite saying in this entire movie. Why? Because it showed me how they were planning to carry on the idea. Because if people believe that the Führer is still alive, they will continue on his legacy, and they'll continue on his ideas. And you could see that worked. It did work to an extent, because even in this modern time, you still have people that are convinced that he is alive and are keeping his ideals to get in flow. I love that. I absolutely love that. Now, granted, I do love a lot about this movie, but I did not like the execution of the mission. The beginning and the ending by far were the best parts. Elderly Brana and younger Brana, there's a bit of a contrast. I love when she was narrating how the story all unfolded. I could have stood there and listened to how she regaled her tale. But when you see the actual interaction now, it does leave much more to be desired. I wish that this had been taken on with a bit of a different task. Like every now and then they would pan back to the elderly lady and allow her to continue narrating some parts of the story to kind of bring the story a little bit more forward, right? To go from step one, and then after step one, well, this is what we did next, and this is when things went bad, and this is when things went good, and these are the moments that we actually had a good day. This whole thing is grim, and while that's to be expected, I expected no less. I just wish that they had done some back and forth between the two of them. So you see the elder and you see the younger. The only time you see the elder is in the beginning and the end, and the whole time it's just with younger Brana while she's on her mission with her group. Now, this would have very much, I think it would have brought this story further to life, and that's really ultimately my greatest bone to pick with this movie. Other than that, I think it was actually pretty solid. I really appreciated the fact that I could see this, and if I had to give this an overall rating, I would probably, although the camera work and everything, it could have been a little better, the story could have been a little bit tighter, the plot and how it was executed could have been tighter, the writing could have been a little tighter, I would still give this a solid, maybe probably about a 6 out of 10 if I had to give it a rating. It is a solid movie to watch. I probably would not watch this again. It doesn't have a lot of rewatchability, but it is an excellent movie if you're really looking for something just to kind of observe. I love the plot, although I think it could have been tighter. I love the plot, I love the concept, I love the idea, and you really do get a sense of how dangerous a mission like this could have been, knowing that it is all top secret and things could go wrong at any moment. But that is, of course, the nature of war, especially right when you're in the heart of war, or the closing of the war, where not everyone believes that the war has ended, and you have this level of possession on you. So carrying this kind of body would definitely come with its own troubles. And to think that they didn't have very much help, probably because they didn't want to alert anyone else to what was going on. But other than that, that is all I have for now. I'm gonna give this a solid 6 out of 10. I think this movie could have been a little tighter, but I appreciated it for what it was, and I think this is definitely worth a watch. So that's all I have for now. If you guys enjoyed, let me know in the comment section, and if you have any points, or if you've seen this and want to leave me your opinion as well, by all means, I will await your opinions on this too. Let me know what you think, and I will see you again for the next one. See ya.